What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rad Torado, and I'm back with another video. And today we're going to be talking about how to get started and how to maintain this way of life, this fitness journey of yours, how to maintain it. Not only how to maintain it, but how to be successful in either losing the weight. Today it's just going to be specifically losing the weight, maintaining muscle, and not killing yourself. All right. The caveat here is that it's going to take time. And if you're an impatient individual, just go to the next video. Okay. Go watch one of my training videos. But if you have time and you're not in a rush and you don't need to lose 60 pounds in 2 weeks, you might want to watch this video. All right. So let's dive right in. Let me teach you what I've learned over the past 4 years of me being back in the fitness world, back in the gym. All right, so for those that are just subscribing to the channel, I can tell you right now that I was a bit overweight. I was 200 pounds at 5'7". It was a lot. It was a lot for me. Felt it in my joints, felt it in my knees, and it just didn't feel right, okay? So I had to change that, and it took some time. It took 4 years, okay? 4 years. Why? Because prior to me getting back into the fitness world, I used to train back in the day as well. I started training when I was 14 years old, 13, 14, whatever, and I didn't stop. I managed to build a pretty decent physique, and I tore my pec, and after that, I just stopped. I had no more interest. So getting started and starting the right way is probably the most important part of this journey of yours. Because if you go too hard in the beginning, you try to lock in, and you're in the gym and you're doing an hour and a half of cardio and you're trying to get the weight training sessions in, that is not sustainable. You are not going to be able to maintain that type of energy year after year after year after year. It's not going to happen. So what is the most important part of this fitness journey of yours? What's the most important part? It's your diet. Your diet, and then it's the resistance training. And this is where everybody fails. 99.9% of people fail here, right at the diet. And this is why all these fad diets exist, honestly. Because if everybody just stuck to a simple concept, which is if you eat fewer calories, you will lose weight. If you eat more calories, you will gain weight. The question is, how do you know if you're eating fewer calories? Because we know when we're eating more calories, we look at the weight scale and we realize that we're going, we're getting a little bit bigger, right? Well, we could do the same in terms of losing weight. We can see the scale drop, but we can almost never be consistent in watching those numbers fall, right? Sometimes they'll fall drastically and then all of a sudden come to a complete stop. And then you're like, what just happened? What happened here? Why am I not losing weight? Something happened. And then you'll get pissed off and you fail and you'll just stay at that weight and you just say, you know what? It's just not happening for me. It's my body. I'm big boned. I was meant to be like this. Here's the solution. You're overweight, you're overfed, and you realize this. The way to start is by counting your calories. That is the biggest headache ever in the very beginning when you're starting this journey of yours. Counting the calories. All right, but you got to do it. You have to count the calories in order for you to be successful long term. If you're not counting the calories, you'll never, ever know if you are in too much of a deficit or too little of a deficit. My idea is try to put yourself in a small calorie deficit, 5%. Some guys will say 10%. I say 5. I say 5 because most of us are not going to be using any sort of steroids to try to help us maintain muscle weight rather. And so losing weight slowly is going to be beneficial for us. Okay, beneficial for muscle maintenance. You're not going to also experience this decrease in strength as you drop in weight. You know, it's not going to happen so fast. It's going to happen, but it's not going to happen so fast. So if you're in a calorie deficit, and let's just say you counted all of your calories, all right, and all of your calories for the last 7 days have averaged out to about maybe, let's just say 3,000 calories a day. All right. I want you to take 5% of the 3,000 calories. That's 150 calories. All right. 5% of 3,000, that's 150 calories a day that you would be removing from your total caloric intake. And let's times that. Let's do a little math. We know that the science tells us that 3,500 calories is equal to 1 pound of fat, more or less. Okay. So if we type in 3,500 calories and we divide that by 150 calories, we get 23.3. The 23.3 is the amount of days it would take you to burn 1 pound of fat. Now, some of you are saying, man, that's kind of slow. To burn 1 pound of fat in 23 days, that's a little over 3 weeks. Here's why it's beneficial. Remember the whole skinny fat thing that I was just talking about? You lose too much weight, and then you start losing a lot of muscle with that. That's what you want to prevent. You want to try to prevent losing muscle. And that's why maybe a 5% or a 7% deficit is beneficial to you. So anyway, it takes 23 days to lose 1 pound of fat, right? Let's take 23. Actually, let's take 365 days in 1 year, and let's divide that by 23. And that's 15 pounds or 15.8 pounds of fat loss. So if you were, I don't know, 200 and let's just say 225 pounds, and or 230 pounds, and you lost 15 pounds of fat loss, now you're down to 215. I guarantee you, people are going to look at you and they're going to notice the difference in 1 year. Now, I'm just talking about losing weight. I'm not even bringing in resistance training, weight training. I'm not. Imagine in that 1 year, if you were consistent in the gym 3 to 4 days a week, and you were weight training and you were training your body part once or twice a day, not once or twice a day, each body part either once or twice a week. Imagine how you're going to change the look of your physique. Imagine that. 15 pounds of fat is a lot. I'm not talking about water. I'm talking about fat. Imagine. So when I hear people say, well, damn, 15 pounds in 1 year, that's crazy. I see guys do that in, 6 weeks or, 4 weeks. And that's the problem. That's part of the problem of what I was trying to tell you before, how we're too busy looking at these young fitness influencers who are naturally gifted to have the bodies that they have. I take nothing away from these individuals that train hard and are using anabolic steroids, because the anabolic steroids honestly only helps them but so much. These guys are in the shape that they're in because of genetics, hard work, proper sleep, diet. Yes, the use of steroids. However, you can't take anything away from them. These guys train hard. But to compare yourself to individuals that are able to lose weight, in a matter of 6 weeks and go from their bulk state to their lean state, you can't do that. Your body is not equipped or used to, or you don't even have the know-how to get yourself down to that weight, that lean, and be able to maintain it. It's just not going to happen. Now, it may sound discouraging, but this is what fitness influencers won't tell you. Why? Because they need to make money. And so they need to pull you in, buy their plan, because they need to make money, right? And this is when they'll try to incorporate their products and their protein powders and creatine and all that stuff, which is unnecessary, especially for somebody who is just starting out. All that shit is unnecessary. I would always say, man, don't look at these individuals. You see a guy on social media that's just ripped to the bones, man. Hey, that's genetics. That's genetics. That is one hell of a coach that's guiding him to look this way. That's steroids. These guys are unhealthy. That's not what you want to be. So anyway, let's get back on track. 15 pounds of fat, 15 pounds of fat in 1 year. That is insane. Now let's double that. Imagine in 2 years, you've managed to lose 30 pounds of fat. And now you're down to 195, looking like a pure specimen. Probably anywhere from 12 to 15% body fat, looking fantastic. In 2 years, what do you have to lose? And all you're doing is adjusting your calories. Okay? So when you're in this deficit, one thing I didn't tell you is for every pound you lose, you have to adjust the amount of calories that you're in a deficit in. So if you started off with 150 calories, it's not like you're not going to be able to continue eating 150 calories less and still lose weight. That's not how it works. So at some point, that 150 calories is either going to have to be increased, or this is when cardio starts to come in. So you started off at 150 calories, you started losing the weight, and then all of a sudden, you started to plateau. You realize, you know what? For 2 weeks, I haven't lost a pound. All right. Well, then it's at that moment that, maybe I should add maybe another 25 calories on top of that, or another 50 calories on top of that. Look at the scale, give it another week or so, see if you lost any more weight. If you didn't lose any more weight, okay, you have a choice. Do you want to sacrifice going from 150 to 250? Or do you want to burn an extra 100 calories on a treadmill, which is not a lot. It's not a lot of time to do that. 30 minutes on a treadmill, or maybe 30 minutes on a bike. Zone 2 cardio. You can burn 100 calories very easily. But you got to be aware of this, because most people aren't. Most people think, well, I have been in a calorie deficit. You said 150 calories is all I need. Yeah, it's all you need until you stop losing the weight. Then you have to either increase the calories within your deficit or do some cardio. Now, hopefully all that makes sense. Now, for those that are, trying to get super, super lean, that's where it gets difficult. When I say super lean, I mean like lean like my son, single digit body fat. When you want to be at that level, you're going to have to either be in a severe calorie deficit, doing a hell of a lot of cardio. And my question to you is, what's the point? You're sacrificing strength. You're going to sacrifice size, especially those of you that are in your late 40s, early 50s. If you're not on testosterone replacement therapy, you're going to sacrifice size, strength. You're not going to feel as good. A lot of issues are going to start happening when you start to get that lean. And so if I had to say anything else, it would honestly be that the counting of the calories is the tough part of this journey, because anybody can train in the gym. Training in the gym is not difficult, guys, right? You pick the weights up and you put them shits down when you get tired, when you can no longer lift them up. All right. You do that every training session, you're going to feel great. You're gonna gain some size, especially those that are new to training. The amount of size growth that you're going to experience is going to be unprecedented. But for somebody who's been training for a minute, obviously we all know you're not going to grow like that. All right, and that's for another video. I'm just talking about getting started, getting the diet right. That's all I'm talking about today. I didn't mention any diet because there is no perfect diet. So with that being said, I'm going to leave that here. Hopefully I explained enough to get you started. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. All right. If I don't reply to the comment, I'll reply with another video. That's how I like to do it. Okay. And just take it easy. You can start now. All right. Just eliminate something every day. One thing, eliminate something every single day. I guarantee you it's going to work. All right. But you need to, here's what I will say before I leave. You got to hit the gym, or you got to train in your house, right? I'm going to do a video later on, my top 4 exercises if I didn't have access to a gym. I'm going to do that as well because, man, there's some exercises you can do. Obviously, we know the push-up, the pull-up, but there's some leg exercises that are super tough that you could do at home that'll get your legs looking crazy. All right? So with that being said, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Appreciate you guys watching.